This is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome in to the Coach and Company podcast. We support the morning show every single weekday. If you missed any of the morning show, we're preempted on Stadium this week, so you can go catch it on our Coach and Company YouTube page or on social media as well. Now, on Mondays, and by the way, we never go longer than 20 or 30 minutes here on the podcast. It's our busiest day at the brand. In addition to this podcast coming up 2 to 4 Eastern time, it is Off the Ropes with the Coach, all your pro wrestling news on SiriusXM, channel 156. Then at 5 p.m. Eastern time, it's the Coach and Bro Show. And then immediately following that at 7 p.m. Eastern time. All of these are on YouTube today. We have the Monday Night Grind, and tonight it's the Commanders and the Chiefs live from my favorite stadium in the whole NFL, the entire league, Arrowhead Stadium. All right, joining me today, as he does on most weekdays, to talk everything football is my guy, Mikey P from SureDog USA. And Mikey, I don't know if you're feeling any kind of way, but I let DG host this morning, so I thought my phone would be blowing up with Coach. You going to let me host, I don't know, Wednesday? That's what I thought you'd be saying, but I didn't get anything from you.
Listen, I'm humble, and when the call comes, just like any good bullpen pitcher, I'll be ready. When I don't know if you're gonna get goosebumps like the Rock or if you're calling for the bullpen, but when the call comes, I'll be ready. I will always be ready. I'll say this, Coach. You let me run the show last night, Sunday night. I picked up another 6-pack, 4-2 on the 6-pack. So when Mikey P's got a 6-pack, usually some good things happen, depending on who you ask.
Yeah, that last part is the key, depending on who you ask. All right, I love Mondays with you because we get to look back on the weekend in football, whether it's college or whether it's pro. And before we even get to the NFL games, apparently buyouts in college football mean absolutely nothing because LSU, they had the lead at halftime over Texas A&M. And I remember going to my sportsbook going, A&M's a much better team than this. And second half over 23.5, second half A&M, and they blow the doors off of LSU. And then we come to find out that late last night, LSU has decided, Brian Kelly, we don't need you no more. Now, this is a second big buyout, Mikey. In the last 10 years, Ed Orgeron got $17 million, but it pales in comparison to $53 million to not coach my football team. Ooh, if I'm Brian Kelly, am I really that upset right now?
Absolutely not. I actually saw a video of him walking into the facilities after the game. So the next day when he knew he was about to get, fired, it looked like it's like the Jamal Adams meme. It looked like his key card wasn't working. And then he throws his hand up when he walks in the door. And I go, wow, is he just really he just lives up to it? But I think he was actually saying hi to the front desk person for the last time. Listen, Brian Kelly got what I figured he was going to get when we did our Saturday morning show. I said this exact thing was going to happen. Brian Kelly is not a guy you can rely on to win you the big games. And consistently, we are seeing a guy who fails these big-time programs. However, Coach, I am very much, and I'm stealing this from the internet, I am very much looking forward to Brian Kelly at UCLA. Yo, dude, I can't wait for these because he likes to throw accents wherever he goes. So I just can't wait for the California kid, Brian Kelly, to act like he's born and bred.
Do we really think that that's where he's going to – because the one thing about Brian Kelly that I've never figured out, he didn't win at Notre Dame. And when I say win, I mean like really win, like college playoff national championship type level stuff. And then he gets the mega deal to go to LSU, and all of us are scratching our heads going, wait a second, what has he done at Notre Dame to make us believe? And he proved a lot of us right. He can't win big games. Whenever he has a big game, they end up losing by 7 or 10 points. It's never like down to the wire. Why do you think he's always had this, he's a great coach moniker?
I don't think he takes himself seriously. I'm going to be honest. I don't know that he takes the job seriously. During, this morning, as I'm preparing for the podcast, I read a very, very short snippet of a recruiting story when he was leaving Notre Dame. He's at a recruit's house, knowing he's getting the call from LSU to take the job. Takes the phone call from LSU, walks back into the recruit's house and goes, how about those burnt ends? Has 3 plates of burnt ends, and then walks out and the recruit goes, wait, I thought you wanted me to go to Notre Dame and you're going to LSU. That's a guy who only cares about himself. That's a guy who only cares about the money, doesn't care about winning football, doesn't care about his legacy. It's Brian Kelly for Brian Kelly.
It really is. And when you start doing it multiple places and all of a sudden it's just about the name and not about the place, that's not what I want in a college football coach. And you have just the opposite at Indiana. You got Cignetti, who's like, Google me. And then you sent me some stuff that, like, he did this before he even got to Indiana. And they went out on Saturday. And I remember you and I on the morning show. And I said, man, that 24.5, that scares me just a little bit. It didn't scare Indiana. They took to the over by themselves. It was 51 or 52, 56-6. And now he's making north of what, $10 million a year, something around there, or 8, 9, whatever it is. And he says, I want to build a legacy here. Isn't that a little bit refreshing to have a coach say, I don't need to go to Penn State. I don't need to go to LSU. I got all the money I need right here. I'm making north of $8, $9 million. And the players, when you watch his teams play, they come out with their hair on fire from start to finish, and I absolutely love it.
I don't want to overreact, but Curt Cignetti is college football, right? 13 of 14 wins at home since he's taken over at Indiana. And what do you truly want? For me, coach, I may be in the minority of this thinking. When it comes to college football, I want college football atmosphere. I don't want to feel like it's a franchise, it's a dynasty, it's a legacy. I want a coach that's going to get players to play with their hair on fire, to embrace the culture of being on a college campus and make us a hot commodity in the world of college football. Curt Cignetti has checked every single one of those boxes. How many people do you think are going, actually, I want to go to Indiana? Why? Have you seen their football program? It is what the kids say, a vibe. And he is completely turning that program around. He is college football because he is running a different show of an atmosphere for college football.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see kind of who gets the buys this year. The fact that they've changed it is very, very interesting, exciting, because it's not just about who gets slotted in. So I think we could see Ohio State and Indiana get a bye depending on how things fall out, because it's not like Indiana's facing a murderer's row as we head towards the last month of the season. Let's pivot now over to the NFL. You're watching the Coach and Company podcast. Mikey P. I am the coach. We never go longer than 20 or 30 minutes. We got a busy day. So just turn on your notifications. Go to our YouTube channel. We got you covered. Now, yesterday, the two teams in the NFL that I believe the public believes are the two best teams, and that's the Bills on one side and the Eagles on the other side. And with all due respect to the Colts, but the Bills went out after losing two, because they were, and they said to Carolina, who exactly said you were in our league? 40-9 was the final in Charlotte for a team that was 4-3 on the year. And then you got the Eagles going out scoring 38. However, Saquon, how serious is that groin injury is going to be? And in that same game, you had two of our favorite players, Cam Scadaboo, whose ankles would literally look like a cartoon. It was turned around the other way. And Jackson Dart does not even get to 200 yards passing. What did you make of the Eagles and the Bills yesterday?
I'll start with the Bills. Andy Dalton is a backup for a reason. I never thought I would say Carolina Panthers need Bryce Young. And I'm not saying he would have made it competitive, but you truly saw why starting quarterbacks matter in the NFL. Maybe it's a get-right game for Buffalo, but I think they've got a huge – I know they have a huge test next week against the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's not a game that I would feel comfortable with because we beat up Andy Dalton as a backup. Now for the Eagles, look what happens when you give the ball to your best player consistently. He gets hurt because you haven't done it all season. I mean, the workload was too much for Saquon Barkley. All jokes aside, this is what the Philadelphia Eagles should have been from the very beginning of this football season. Feed Saquon Barkley and build your... This is what they were last year. There was no reason to change their offensive scheme from last year to this year, and they've done it. And I guess we saw what they're made of, but I'm not sold on them either.
I'm not either. But when they do things the right way, they do look like the best team, at least in the NFC right now. Now, best record wise in the AFC is the Indianapolis Colts and Jonathan Taylor making history yet again. Danny Dimes playing a very workmanlike game, and the Colts went out. They're the only team in the AFC with one loss. Now, the Packers on the NFC side, they have one loss, but they have one tie. So technically, the Colts have the best record in the entire league. Are they a fraud, or are they as good as they continue to look week in and week out?
When you can create running lanes like the Colts offensive line for a amazing running back like Jonathan Taylor, you're not a fraud. I mean, you could drive a truck through the holes at the offensive line. And it's not because they're playing the Tennessee Titans. They are doing this week after week after week. And it's okay, Coach. I just want to make a public plea. It's okay to say Jonathan Taylor is the offensive player of the year. We know what the MVP award has become in the NFL. It's a quarterback-driven league. It's a quarterback-driven award. It is okay for Jonathan Taylor to be the offensive player of the year. The Colts are for real. We don't even talk about their defense. What I love about this team, we talk about one guy, and it's Jonathan Taylor. And I think he will get the credit he deserves come end of the year.
12 carries, 153, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Daniel Jones, 21 of 29, 272, 3 touchdowns, and the all-important 0 interceptions. The only game they have lost this year, he had an issue with INTs. If he protects the ball, this team could do some damage. We'll see throughout the remainder of the year. How about a couple of surprises? San Francisco goes on the road to Houston. Maybe we're sleeping on the Texans the last 3 or 4 weeks because they beat the 49ers by 11 points. The other shocker, the Dallas Cowboys. They are frauds. They are the reason that for 28 freaking years, they have a good step forward and 3 steps back. 44 points. 44 to the Denver Broncos. And CD came in 3 yards short of his number. Pickens hit his number. But right now, yesterday was an epitome, wasn't it, Mikey, of what Dallas has turned into. Fun to watch, fun to play games in, but never serious.
And fun to rip on. I mean, you're missing the all-important topic there. There's so much fun to criticize after these games. I need Jerry Jones. It's not even talking out of both sides of his mouth. I think I just need Jerry Jones to stop talking. You can't say that you brought in Kenny Clark to stop the run and then every single team can run a track meet on your defense. And you can't say, oh, we've got more draft capital now, so who knows? Maybe I'll trade for some defenders this year. And then you don't trade for any defenders. We've got 10 days until the NFL trade deadline. Your defense is an absolute joke. It is atrocious. And by the way, Matt Eberflus is your defensive coordinator. Did you not learn from him as a head coach? I'm just saying.
A couple of other really good offensive performances happened in the AFC East. The Patriots very quietly are saying, Buffalo, hold my beer. We have a half game lead over you just because. And then you've got the Jets, a big deficit. The Fighting Joe Flacco's coming out saying, we're going to put it down until they forgot to pick it up. 39-38. And Justin Fields, I felt like he was in a therapy session after the game talking to the media. He was so out there and telling people he was in tears this week, laying in his closet. They were over. He goes, I prayed simply for a win. I'll give him credit for putting it out there. But, man, if somebody doesn't tell Aaron Glenn that he's no longer an assistant, but he's now a head coach, because that dude, you would have thought that they were playing for the Super Bowl yesterday. But all in all, they get their first win of the year. What'd you make of the Jets and the Pats?
Well, as far as Justin Fields, and this is not him being a former Bears quarterback, this is just how I feel about this man. He's always been given kind of the short end of the stick, and some of it is self-inflicted for the way he plays, but Justin Fields has always taken every bump his way, and he's taken it professionally. So to see him get thrown into the fire by Woody Johnson, Jets owner, and then Aaron Glenn playing games with the media saying, oh, I don't know who our starting quarterback is, Justin Fields cares. And he might care more than Woody Johnson, and he definitely cares more than Aaron Glenn. I'm sorry, these are little nitpicky things for me, but as a head coach, when you come in, you get your first win in the NFL, and you go, well, I don't have the stats in front of me. I have seen every single NFL coach in a locker room after a win able to at least rattle off 3 to 4, 5 stats to their team because you excite your players when you reinforce how good they played. You can't just say, oh, I don't know the stats, but we got to win. I saw the scoreboard at the end. Hats off to Justin Fields for being vulnerable. Hats off to Justin Fields for being a pro. And I'm going to go as far as to say, I don't know that Justin Fields should be on the Jets or that the Jets even deserve Justin Fields just because of his character. Now on the Patriots, coach, I hate to say this. I really hate to admit this, but I'm going to lay it down right here, right now. Drake May is the best quarterback from that stacked and loaded 2024 NFL draft class. Period. End of story.
Yeah, I think that's a great take. I think he's showing it. He's the most pro ready. And when you throw in a defense with him, it's amazing how good you can look. Just ask Daniel Jones. It's amazing how good you can look. 6-2 now, the Patriots are. Finally, last night in the revenge game that Aaron Rodgers said was not a revenge. And last night was the first time I really thought that he was old. He looked old. When he take his helmet off, his hair looks old. He refuses to buy just for men. But he also he looked frail to me physically. And once they got into the second half, once Tucker Kraft proved that he's probably the best tight end in football right now, the Packers just ran away with it. I don't understand for the life of me how people cannot think Jordan Love is a good quarterback. He made some incredible throws last night. What did you make of the fact that Pittsburgh looked very old? They're now 4-3, and shockingly, the Ravens are minus 160 to win their division, and they're 2 games back. Make that make sense.
I can't make it make sense. I'm all in on the Steelers still. But, Coach, to steal something from the wrestling world, when they're out chanting, you still got it, I don't know that you can give Aaron Rodgers that same chant after Sunday night's performance, but I think Mike Tomlin can at least get them to the finish line and have them win the division in the AFC North simply because of the lead that they have. As far as the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love, Coach, I'm not going to lie. As much as I like to be on Kiss Up Mountain, I still don't agree with your take on Jordan Love being a top 3 quarterback. I'll give you top 5, but last night he showed absolutely amazing accuracy, 20 straight completions. He showed that the bright lights do not matter to him. He has shined in his last 7 primetime games. 14 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You talk about a primetime player, it's Jordan Love, and he's making everyone a believer. I just wish it was more consistent.
Well, name 3 quarterbacks better than Jordan Love.
Josh Allen.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Dak Prescott.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Dak Prescott better than Jordan Love? Better than Jordan Love? Oh, man, you and I are going to fight. If you were standing right in front of me, we'd be throwing blows. I was like, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. You literally just made my point. You literally made my point. Those are the 2 I have in front of him. And then if I have a game that I need to win, I want Jordan Love as my quarterback. If I can't get those 2, I'll take him over Lamar Jackson in a big game. In a big game.
On the injured ones.
I'll take him when Lamar Jackson's healthy. Lamar Jackson has proven time and time again he can't win the big one. He can't. Hell, for that matter, Josh Allen can't win the big one. So I would rather have Jordan Love and the Packers. He has shown in the playoffs that he can play. He's got guts. To me, it's not just about the numbers. It's about leading a team. And he leads this team. Now they have Micah Parsons. I think they're going to be dangerous. But the beautiful part is we can argue about it, and we see how it's going to play out.
I'm just happy you're not. That's. I mean, I'm going to stay over here. If we're throwing hands, I'm staying right here.
I promise I wouldn't really throw it too hard. All right. I will see you tonight on the Monday Night Grind. Yes, sir. Be ready.
Sir.
Who do you think's going to win tonight? Raphael or because Big Tommy, he's really been taking Ball Don't Lie seriously. He's really taking.
He's got to take something seriously this NFL season because the Giants are giving him nothing. We should just start the show up like playing. Producer man should have like a little funeral music playing in the background, and we should just have him read the eulogy for the Giants and Cam Scadaboo's ankle.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Big Cheesy literally wants to get kicked out of the chat. That's all awful take, coach. Awful. Where's DG? He's at my class waiting for me to teach it here in a second. That's where DG is right now. Uh, it's funny. It's almost like Big Cheesy is just trying to get these shots in before tonight, because after tonight, I spotted him 2 games. I had to make it difficult on myself, Mikey, on myself, because I'm so sick of beating him. So I said, you know what? I'll spot you the first 2 games of the season, and I'm still going to catch him tonight.
I believe you will catch him. And I looked at it this morning. I go, wow, that's actually fascinating how quickly the NFL world turns, right? The sky was falling after 2 games, and then you're like, wait, 6 games later, they're about to be tied? It's
It's all
phenomenal.
right. It's all right. It's also, I noticed, because I like to support our fan base, our fans, right? And I noticed Big Cheesy has started posting videos periodically making picks, which tells me that next year at some point I'll be getting a DM. Hey, coach, can I come on with Mikey P, Zeno, my boy DG? It's coming. It's coming. What would you say to him if he sent you that DM?
I would say I do not get paid enough to handle these inquiries. Please, I will forward your message to those who do.
I'll have DG start handling those inquiries. That's what I'll do. All right. Love all you guys. We'll see you guys later today, whatever show you're tuning in for. This is show number 2. We still have Off the Ropes. We still have Coach and Bro, and we still have the Monday Night Grind. For Mikey P, for Producer Man, I am the coach. I'll see you all later. This is Coach and Company, the podcast, and there is only one. Have a great day. See ya.